So now that the National League season is over, let's act like it was an exam. Let's grade each team. Aldershot Town, B. They finished in 5th place, the same as last season. Lost a couple of key players, the likes of Bernard Mensah in January, but still managed to finish inside the playoffs, unfortunately losing in the quarterfinals on penalties to Ebbsfleet. Barrow, E. The team from Cumbria finished in 7th place last season, but lost Paul Cox early on due to a reduced budget and a pretty poor start to the season. Then after that, really the season never got started, always down near the bottom, just above the relegation zone, and in the end just scraping survival on the last day of the season. Boreham Wood, A. Finished in 11th place last season, but 4th place this season represents a good increase and a good improvement. A team that is back quite well financially with a very, very small fan base. They got to Wembley to the playoff final but lost to Tranmere. Regardless, still a very good season for them. Bromley, C. Small improvement from last season, finishing 10th last year up to 9th this year. Started the season off quite strong but crumbled a little bit as the season went on, going into sort of mid-table obscurity. Chester, E. A season that was overshadowed by some off-the-field issues relating to their ownership. On the pitch, it was still pretty poor, finishing down in the relegation zone. It's been a bad season all round for them. Dagenham Redbridge, C. They're my prediction for the league title at the start of the season, but again, the same as Chester, some off-the-field financial issues have really overshadowed this season for them, particularly during that midpoint of the season, and after that point, they were just stuck in mid-table. Lost a couple of good players, likes of Corey Whiteley going to Ebbsfleet. Dover, B. They lost the majority of last season's squad, including their captain, Jamie Grimes, and their top goal scorer, Ricky Miller, top scorer in the National League of the 16-17 season, but they still rebuilt. They did quite well to finish in 8th place. Eastleigh, D. The side from the South Coast season never really took off. Big spending, but finishing in the bottom half, down in 14th place, and their owner has now left to go to Sunderland. Fylde, A. Newly promoted to the National League from the National League North last season. They started the season off pretty poorly. At Christmas they were down in 19th position, but by the end of the season they'd absolutely flown up the table up to 7th place, sneaking into the playoffs late on. FC Halifax Town, C. Like Fylde, newly promoted, but they finished a lot lower down in 16th position. Still decent, they survived relegation, but really was nothing spectacular. Gateshead, D. Really, there's not a lot to say about Gateshead. They've just been in the bottom half pretty much all season, no danger of relegation or promotion. Guiseley, E. Bottom of the table, they pretty much have been for the majority of the season, down in the relegation zone. Paul Cox, when he came in, he assembled a squad that had 42 players at one point. More players than they had points in the entirety of the season. Hartlepool United, E. Down from the Football League last season. You'd expect a Football League side coming straight down to try and challenge to get straight back up, but they just did not do that, partly because of some off-field financial issues. Leyton Orient, E. Pretty much the same as Hartlepool United, newly down from the Football League. A new owner coming in at the start of the 2017-18 season, and they spent the season rebuilding. Can they go on and challenge for promotion next season? Macclesfield Town, A star. I predicted them to finish 19th at the start of the season, but they quite emphatically proved me wrong to finish up in 1st place. Really small budget, really small squad as well, completely rebuilt from the previous season, but they've done fantastically against all the odds. Team spirit really come through there, and they've won the league. Maidstone United, D. Now they'd have been happy to finish the season as it was because they started off quite strong, but as the season's gone on, they've been hurtling down to the relegation places, just about staying up near the end. A couple of wins right at the end of the season, but that just about kept them up. Without those, they probably would have gone down. Solihull Moors, B. A poor start to the season for them, but then Mark Yates came in as their new manager and did fantastically for them, pulling off the great escape, finishing in 18th place despite spending the majority of the season in the relegation zone. Sutton United, A. Brilliant improvement from last season, finishing in 12th last season, coming up to 3rd this season. A part-time side get into the playoff semi-finals. A great season all around. Shame they couldn't get to the Football League, but because of their 3G pitch, they wouldn't be allowed to be promoted anyway, but that is a whole different issue. Torquay United, E. Their season really never got started. Been in the relegation zone for pretty much the majority of it. They got a good few signings at the start of the season. I thought they could kick on and be at least mid-table, but that just hasn't happened, and they've been pretty much doomed from day one. Tranmere Rovers, A star. Back up to the Football League they go, third time of asking. They started off this season pretty poor, down in the bottom half for pretty much the entirety of the first half of the season, but the second half has been fantastic for them. They've got on an amazing run of form to fly right up the table, up into second place, getting into the playoffs, getting to Wembley, winning at Wembley, going up to the Football League. Woking E. They started the season off pretty good under new manager Anthony Limbrick, but really the wheels came off their season after a few months. They did quite well in the FA Cup, but really after that as well, not a lot really went their way. They lost a couple of big players back in January. Second half of the season for them was very poor, and they hurtled down into the relegation zone, falling into the relegation zone a couple of matches from the end of the season for the first time. Wrexham C. They started the season pretty well, made some great signings back last summer. Under Dean Keats, they did fairly solid throughout the season, sitting inside the playoffs when Dean Keats left to move up into the Football League to manage Walsall. After that point, they won 1 out of their final 9 games, and they dropped down out of the playoffs into 10th position. Let me know in the comment section down below, do you agree with these ratings? Do you disagree with some of them? Let me know in the comment section down below. Also let me know, was your team in the National League this season, or whatever league your team was in, let me know your grade for them this season. If you enjoyed the video, remember hit that like button and click that subscribe button. Thank you guys all for your support recently, and hope to see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.